Do you believe that true love can be seen in small things that are never announced? What if a man who is known to be cold and professional suddenly shows his soft side, but only to one person? Today, we will discuss the exclusive things that Cheng Lei does only for Zhou Ye, and maybe this is a sign of love that can no longer be hidden. The Chinese entertainment world is filled with bright lights, cameras, and public attention. However, behind all the hustle and bustle, there are small stories that only the observant eye can see. Stories that are not written in scripts, not announced on grand stages, but come in the form of simple gestures, sincere glances, and attention that is difficult to hide. That is what is now in the spotlight when we talk about Cheng Lei and her relationship with Zhou Ye. It is as if there is an invisible magnet that continues to pull the two of them together, and this magnet is not only felt by fans, but is also clearly seen through the little things that Cheng Lei does, things that are exclusive, as if only for Zhou Ye, and that she never does for anyone else. And this is where it gets interesting. Cheng Lei's unique and unusual style. She is not the type of artist who likes to openly show affection, but rather through her silence and consistent details, she shows her most sincere side. Cheng Lei is known as a calm person, even sometimes appearing cold in public. He keeps his distance from his co-stars, remains professional, and rarely shows any attitude that could be interpreted as more than just a coworker. However, with Zhou Ye, there seems to be an exception. Fans have repeatedly captured small moments. Cheng Lei spontaneously bringing Zhou Ye his favorite drink during a break in filming, Cheng Lei quickly fixing his hair when it was blown by the wind, or Cheng Lei reflexively adjusting the microphone on his shirt to make it more comfortable. At first glance, these things seem simple, but anyone who pays attention will realize this is not Cheng Lei's usual habit. He doesn't do this with other artists, and that's where the exclusivity lies. Every small gesture, even if simple, feels personal, as if it were only for Zhou Ye. Body language often reveals more than words. And when we observe Cheng Lei's interactions with Zhou Ye, the pattern is clear. On the promotional stage, when interviewed with other cast members, Cheng Lei appeared formal. But when Zhou Ye was next to him, his attitude changed drastically. His gaze became softer, his smile appeared more often, and even the distance between their bodies felt much closer. There was a moment when Cheng Lei turned to look at Zhou Ye, and his gaze lingered longer than usual. The smile he gave was not a polite smile for the camera, but a smile that came from comfort, from a deeper feeling. Fans call it an exclusive smile, an expression that only Zhou Ye's presence can elicit. Nothing can match a man's protective attitude towards the person he cares about. And in this case, Cheng Lei shows such consistent protection towards Zhou Ye. In the crowd of fans, he always stands on the outer edge, as if he were a living shield for Zhou Ye. When walking on the red carpet, his hand often moves reflexively to make sure Zhou Ye doesn't get bumped. Even when Zhou Ye almost slipped at an event, Cheng Lei quickly grabbed her arm, causing the audience to fall silent for a moment before cheering hysterically. This protection was not a one-time occurrence, but a recurring pattern. Something that convinced fans that Zhou Ye occupied a special place in Cheng Lei's heart. What made all this even more interesting was Cheng Lei's distinctive style. He never went overboard in showing his emotions. He was not the type of man who liked to spout sweet words or make dramatic gestures in front of the camera. But that was precisely where his uniqueness lay. He prefers to show his feelings through small things, through meaningful glances, through gentle smiles, through hands that are ready to protect, or simply through his constant presence at Zhou Ye's side. His unique style is silence that speaks, a meaningful silence that only those who are sensitive can understand. And interestingly, Zhou Ye seems to understand that silent language. His smile, his responses, and the way he feels comfortable next to Cheng Lei seem to prove that the two of them have a wordless communication. The big question that always arises, is all of this just a coincidence? Fans who observe closely know that the answer is difficult to call a coincidence, because there are too many recurring patterns, too many consistent moments, too many details that only appear when Zhou Ye is near Cheng Lei. Even behind the camera, Fans who managed to capture their natural interactions saw that Cheng Lei's attitude remained the same: attentive, protective, and warm in an exclusive way. Coincidences can only happen once or twice. But when these patterns keep repeating, can we still call it a coincidence? If we piece all these moments together, it's like we're putting together a puzzle. Small pieces of attention, exclusive smiles, consistent protection, and Cheng Lei's unique and meaningful style, they all come together to form a bigger picture. And that picture is a love story that was never announced, but also could never truly be hidden. A story that perhaps only the two of them truly know, but is powerful enough to make the whole world curious. There is a term often used by fans: heart resonance. It is the feeling when two people connect without having to speak, when they seem to understand each other with just a glance. Cheng Lei and Zhou Ye clearly have that resonance. At every event, fans can feel a different energy when the two are together. The atmosphere changes, becoming warmer, more intimate, and more sincere. It's not something that can be faked. It's something real. Cheng Lei may never stand in front of the camera and say, "I love Zhou Ye," but he doesn't need to. Because through his actions, which are consistent, exclusive, and meaningful, he has already said it in a much stronger way. This is Cheng Lei's unique style. He doesn't need big words. He doesn't need dramatic declarations. He just needs small, sincere details, done repeatedly, and intended for only one person: Zhou Ye. And perhaps, only time will tell if this love story will be revealed to the public. But for fans, the signs are enough to make their hearts flutter, because true love doesn't always need to be announced. It can be clearly seen through small, exclusive details. What do you think? Is Cheng Lei's attitude just professionalism, or is it a hidden sign of love intended only for Zhou Ye? Small details often speak louder than 1,000 words. And Cheng Lei has shown all of that through his attitude, which he only gives to Zhou Ye. Is this just a coincidence? Or is it a sign that there is something deeper behind the camera? We may not know the exact answer now, but one thing is clear: sincere love does not always need a grand declaration. Just a glance, protection, and exclusive attention are enough to make our hearts flutter. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. Do Cheng Lei and Zhou Ye truly harbor feelings for each other? Or is this just professionalism? See you in the next video, and keep believing that true love always finds its way.